Behind closed doors, the Prime Minister tried to calm the chaos triggered by his Finance Minister's bombshell resignation. Justin Trudeau says he'll consider his next move over the holidays, not soon enough for some.
The Prime Minister is living in a false reality. He's delusional if he thinks we can continue like this.
About 50 Liberal MPs are now calling for Trudeau to step down. That's 1/3 of the caucus. Making matters worse, the Liberals were decimated in a by-election last night.
He's at -38. We lost the BC by-election by 50 points yesterday. We lost St. Paul's. We lost LaSalle. And I think all of these are clear indicators that the Liberal Party will do far better in another election with a different leader. Canadians want a change.
Chrystia Freeland showed up at the urgent meeting and was applauded. She hugged the Prime Minister before she left. It was an olive branch that was sharply different than her resignation letter. She criticized Trudeau for spending on political gimmicks and not putting money in reserve to fight Donald Trump's threat of 25% tariffs. Freeland negotiated the last free trade deal with the U.S. under the previous Trump administration. On social media, the president-elect celebrated her exit, called Freeland's behavior toxic, and said that she will not be missed. The opposition says all this shows that the Prime Minister needs to prove he has a mandate to lead the country.
The only way for him to get that is to call for an election as soon as possible, because it would be absolutely irresponsible from him to maintain Canada in such an unstable situation.
The NDP has called for Trudeau to resign, but not for an election. The Conservatives are trying to taunt Jagmeet Singh into pulling his support.
Put his votes where his words are to trigger an election, to join with me in signaling non-confidence to bring down this government.
This is the last day of official parliamentary work for 2024. 9 cabinet ministers resigned this year. When the House resumes in January, it's possible the Prime Minister may not return. Marcia.
Judy, thank you. Vashi Kapelis is our chief political correspondent, and she joins me now. Vashi, the Prime Minister has time to reflect over the holiday break. So the question is, can he survive this?
I think that the people around him and he himself, Marcia, think that they can, but I think that the sort of consideration that they have to weigh about not doing so, given the amplified pressure in caucus and perhaps even extending to cabinet, might necessitate a different set of circumstances. So I think there's a belief deep within that they can withstand it because they've withstood so much, but for many people, it also feels different this time around.
When could we see a cabinet shuffle?
Well, I think as soon as tomorrow, but I think the likelihood of that happening has significantly decreased since the weekend and of course, since Chrystia Freeland's resignation. The anticipation was Mark Carney would be coming in to replace Chrystia Freeland, and now that does not seem to be the case. At least the latest information I have would indicate that it's not. There are 9 ministers who have vacated their roles, saying they're not running for re-election or for other reasons since the summer. So it's a big cabinet shuffle that is about to happen in the midst of all this turmoil. I'm not sure how likely it is that it does end up happening tomorrow. I think if not tomorrow, it's safe to say you will see something in January, perhaps tied to the inauguration of incoming President Donald Trump. Marcia?
Vashi, thanks.